When I think about clutter in general, many things come to mind. There are so many different types of clutter, but the one clutter, one category of clutter that I think can make the biggest difference, that is also sometimes the hardest kind of clutter to control, is flat surface clutter. So let's talk about it today. Let's talk about some ways that you can help eradicate this and why this happens, because I feel like getting this under control can make a huge difference. There are two main reasons why I feel like flat surface clutter really does become a problem. And number one, mainly, I think it's out of habit. I think because it's an obvious landing zone, it's just an easy place to set things where you think, I will deal with this in just a minute. Well, just a minute turns into tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into next week. And the problem is clutter attracts clutter. So once a few items or even one item is set on a flat surface, it is now begging to have more items come and be set down on that exact same surface. But the second reason I feel like this becomes a problem is because we have really no other space, especially in the kitchen. I see this being a problem. Like, my kitchen, I need pots and pans. I need, the toaster oven. I need the waffle maker, but my kitchen is small. I don't have a lot of cupboard space, so I need to use the flat surfaces to store things. That's actually fine if it's a permanent fixture, meaning I have nowhere else to store my blender. It actually belongs on the top of the counter, but you just have to remember clutter attracts clutter. So if you're starting to see this as an area to just store things in general, or if your family sees it that way, it can become a problem. So make sure that you're aware of what is a permanent fixture. Toaster has to go here. The blender has to go here. And then say anything else doesn't belong here. This is not its home. This is not a landing zone or a holding zone for items that I don't want to deal with right now. If space is kind of the issue in your kitchen, I recommend getting something like this. This came from Home Goods, and it's just the perfect little thing. You can put whatever, will fit on here. And I love the idea of keeping like cookbooks, smaller appliances. You can even take those out of the box and make them look a little bit nicer if, visually that's going to bother you. But you can actually create more space in your kitchen. This allows you to get things off of the countertop. It's working with what you have. It's kind of containing / organizing the items, and it just helps with that overall surface clutter. So I highly recommend grabbing something like this. I feel like clearing off a flat surface can actually be really overwhelming because generally it's a mixture of all kinds of categories and items. So you might look at it and think, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. There's toys, there's trash, there's clothes, there's books, there's bills, there's receipts, there's who knows what dishes. It could be so many different things. And so it therefore is extremely overwhelming. However, Dawn from the Minimal Mom, she really suggests putting things into categories. And once you do that, create a pile of clothes, create a pile of bills, create a pile of toys, dishes, you realize there's actually probably not very many of each of those categories. Oh, there are actually only 3 shirts. That's not bad. I can deal with that right now. Oh, there's only 1 bowl. It seemed like a mountain of dishes because everything else was piled around it as well. And you just saw the whole thing as one giant mess. But when you divide it into categories, and especially see that these things belong in different rooms, and you can quickly take the clothes and the toys upstairs in one handful, and then you can run, the bills and the dishes into the kitchen area, if that's where they both go, in one sweep. And it becomes very manageable. I love this idea, this concept of creating piles that are categories. It helps break it down, not so overwhelming, and it becomes clear where everything needs to go. If you don't want to create piles because this just feels like an extra step and you don't have time to do that and you just want to get the clutter off the surface, let's say you're working on the dining room table. Again, this is an area where I feel like because it's so large, it's so tempting to have this be a landing dumping zone. So what you're gonna do is, number one, look for garbage and just have a garbage bag with you. And that's all you're looking at and all you're looking for. So you're really kind of creating a category just in your mind. You're not putting it into a pile. This can be really quick and really helpful. Just stay focused on the garbage. Then focus on relocate items and that you can put away right now. So pick up the dishes and say, is there anything else in this pile that belongs in the kitchen? Yep, I see a hand mitt, so grab that as well. So now you're going through it, looking again, layer 2, looking for an area of the house that you can put things away. Kitchen, next bedroom, what belongs in the bedroom? Or not even that, pick up an item and say, this belongs in the bedroom. What else belongs in the bedroom? That's even better. What else belongs in this area of the home? And just kind of work your way through layer by layer. This is great because I love doing this, putting things away right on the spot, because if you get interrupted, if you have to stop, it's already progress made. I love this. It's already better. Let's say you've done this. You've gone through, you've gotten rid of the trash, you've relocated items, and then there's this little pile left over of things that are unclear. You're not really sure where it goes. You're not really sure what to do with it. This could be donations. That is, for me, the obvious thing to do is put this in a donation pile. Now, if you don't want to donate it, you say, oh my gosh, actually, this could be really, really useful to me. I have something coming up next week where I feel like I could use this. Put it where you would look for it first. This makes a lot of sense. And it doesn't matter if it makes sense to the rest of the world. If it makes sense to you, then that's where it goes. So you can either donate the items, my obvious first choice, get rid of the inventory in your home and pare it down to the stuff that you are regularly using. But if it is something you want to hang on to, where would you look for it first? That is where it goes. Before you move on to the next cluttered surface area in your home, maintain this one area for 2 weeks. This gets you out of the habit of creating this as a dumping zone, and it really does let you enjoy the benefits of this clutter-free surface and see that it's worth it. It is worth the effort to actually now go upstairs and make the nightstands also clutter-free zones. The other counters in the kitchen, clutter-free zones. Progress is the ultimate encouragement. It is the thing beyond anything else, visible progress, that actually encourages us to keep going. Another thing you can do, and this is a big one, but it obviously makes a huge impact, that is to get rid of things that you don't need, surfaces that just seem to attract clutter. I used to have a coffee table in the main part of my living room, just a living room coffee table, and I got rid of it because I don't want that to be a hot spot for clutter. I want my main living space, especially my living room, to be an area for me that is kind of an oasis. I don't have to worry about a lot of things. Already the top of the piano is a problem, and I'm not getting rid of my piano. So it made sense for me to get rid of the coffee table and now just have to deal with that one surface area that I am not willing to compromise. The piano stays. So it's become a little bit of a clutter hotspot. I have to clear this off every single night. So that's another thing, guys. Don't worry if this just continues to be a little bit of a problem. Just take care of it every single day. That's another way to manage it. If your family just can't seem to break the habit, or it's a hard habit to break and you feel like, I'm so frustrated, this keeps attracting clutter. I did my 2-week plan. I got out of the habit myself, but now other family members are still in the habit of putting things here. It gets cleared off every single night. The thing about these systems, these techniques, these tips, is that sometimes we think they're going to work perfectly or work a certain way, and then we get into the day-to-day life and we realize there's still a problem. There's still trouble. It's all right. It happens to all of us. It happens to me. Take the top of my piano for an example. It is always getting stuff set on it, mainly by my kids, so I have to keep reminding them and that's okay. And remember that this is a habit that's kind of tricky to break, but I'm gonna go ahead and clear this off at the end of every single evening. It's not a lot to manage because it's been only one day. Sometimes there's nothing on top of this surface, but don't worry if you feel bad thinking, oh, these systems are working for everybody else perfectly. No, they really aren't, because we're living everyday lives. You know, people like me that come on the internet and talk about this, I'm living everyday life with other people as well. And I have to also break these habits myself. What area of your home is a clutter hotspot that you are going to be tackling? I can't wait to chat with you in the comments. Please subscribe. I make videos like this every single week. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye.